Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, your statistics and sports podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Tracy,
And I'm Corwin Heller.
and I'm very festive today, fresh off of a work party. So if you're enjoying the view on YouTube, that's where these videos go, I think. Check out my lovely Lay and Birds of Paradise t-shirt uh, that I bought this morning because I needed one. Anyway, it is Wednesday, the 14th of July, which means that we are past the All-Star break. You're listening to this on Thursday, which means the Yankees and Red Sox are resuming their regular season schedule. The rest of the teams will follow suit tomorrow on Friday, or however time shakes out when you listen to this. So before we get into our bold prediction updates, which will be the main focus of today's episode, Corwin, real quick, what did you think of Monday's home run derby?
I very much enjoyed Pete Alonso just deciding he was going to win it this year. And then just doing that because it was fucking jaw dropping. It really was. And then I fell asleep because I woke up at 3 a.m. So I did not watch rounds 2 and 3.
Ah,
Yeah, so I feel bad.
yeah, it was a hell of a show. I think some of the hype that MLB built around the juiciness of the balls led me to think we were going to see a lot more monster dongs and with a lot more quantity than we ended up
Yeah.
getting. And that's not to minimize we had several 500 feet home runs, like several, but still there was the second round was pretty quiet from most of the people involved. Pete Alonso, who ended up winning it, only had, I think, 17 home runs in the second round with 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, some shit like that. And I'm not here to say what a pittance, but it is when they're talking about, we're going to bring back the juice balls, we're going to do this in Colorado, we're not going to put the balls in the humidor. You sit there and you think, oh my god, like we're seeing 550 easy, we're hitting 475 like nothing. We're going to see like 3,500 foot home runs in a round. It's going to be nothing. And no, it wasn't. I watched the Statcast broadcast, and they were guessing what the longest home run they were going to see that day was, and I think they were all somewhere around like 535, 536, which off by 15 feet. That's certainly reasonable. Um, but still, I mean, they didn't. Um, so there was that threw me off. I think in the first, like when I saw Trey Mancini was the first person to go, and he had like 23, 24 in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And my genuine reaction to that was, I'm not sure it's going to be enough. And obviously it was enough. He made it to the finals. But like I was, when he hit only in air quotes hit 24. I was like, ooh, with all these special rules and whatnots, I don't think 24 is enough. And it absolutely was. So that was interesting. Um, what do you think about Shohei getting knocked out in the first round?
I was disappointed because of the outcome, but my goodness, it was exciting. It really was. That was a really great way to do tiebreakers. And Juan Soto just was fucking dominant. That was really cool to watch.
Yeah, and obviously, you look at the base concept of a 1 seed versus an 8 seed, and you go, well, clearly, Otani, big advantage. It's a little bit different when the 8 seed is actual Juan Soto, who is
Hmm.
genuinely a very, very good baseball player. One of the other faces of the game who's having like a down year for himself, but still a pretty decent season overall. And obviously isn't having the glorious season that Otani is, because no one's had his season before. And we're going to quibble about it. No one's at least had his season in the modern era. So yeah, it's so funny. I said Soto had a down season. It's his down season is still 143 OP. hold on. Juan Soto's OPS plus by season 2018, 142, 2019, 143, 2020, 223, 2021, 143, which means
Please
in
don't dig
three
into
of
the
his.
stats any further. Close your eyes.
What?
But continue talking. Just don't look at any more of his stats. Just keep talking. What you were gonna say?
Okay,
One
I
of my
will not
bold
dig.
predictions. I don't
I
want to
got you.
spoil
I got you.
anything.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. I forgot. Yeah, obviously, he doesn't have the home run numbers that Otani has, because again, Otani's leading all of baseball in home runs, so no one has the home runs numbers that he does. But fuck, what a great and a great way to remind baseball fans, Juan Soto, pretty good. Would have been funny if he did a shuffle though.
I was dying for the shuffle to come. We talked about it off air, I think, last week. I don't know if we said it on the podcast, but I was dying to see a Soto. Like when he threw the ball behind him, that would have been the perfect time for a Soto shuffle.
Yeah, I know, but he was too locked in, man.
I get it, but that would have been perfect.
Also, a lot of horrible performances from pitchers. A
Yeah.
lot of horrible performances by pitchers.
And it was the same thing that Pete Alonso, we talked about last year with like how great his bullpen pitcher was. Not bullpen, but batting
Bench
practice.
coach, batting practice,
Yeah.
batting coach, hitting coach.
He was fantastic. Just completely, locked in himself the entire time.
He was straight cash money, as the kids may say.
Yikes. I feel so old.
Did he yeet?
He yeeted many balls, yes.
Pete Alonso was hitting massive dongs with minimal effort off of like a 75-year-old man while a child tore his ACL in the outfield, and Pete Alonso vibed. That was absolutely like Pete Alonso was bobbing his head, and I didn't have the volume very high, so I couldn't hear the guys talking at first. And I was like, "Why is like nothing happening? This is a weird. Did they think they're still in a TV timeout or some shit?" Then I saw a kid getting lifted off the field, and I was like, "God damn, Pete! Like it's one thing to say, maybe it was a kid in like the stands or some shit where you wouldn't know. No, it's the outfield. There's no one else out there. It's just kids." It was very funny. I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it because Pete Alonso seems like a very nice man. But wow, it was very funny.
Could you imagine with how hard he hits the ball if he just line drive the ball into a kid?
It'd be pretty funny. I'm not
That
gonna
would be
lie.
hilarious. We'd all laugh.
As long as it wasn't a serious injury, it'd be pretty funny.
Even if it was, I'd probably still laugh. Unless
I
it,
got this.
well, I can't say that because there's definitely many kinds of injuries where I would be truly horrified. But there's some serious funny injuries too.
Yeah. I will say, also seeing the kids like set up under a fly ball to then have it sail like well
Like
over
20
their
feet,
heads, but
yeah.
still in the ballpark it
Uh-huh.
made me laugh a lot. Like, oh
It
man,
was hilarious.
yeah, it's obviously the kids. So no, I'm not going to show them too hard, but it really goes to show what route running is in MLB when you'd see a kid take an awful line to a ball.
Yeah, Clint Frazier, baby.
Hey, baby, laying out. Um, there was a mild controversy, I guess you could say. Some people on Twitter thought that Pete Alonso should have thrown the final matchup to let Trey Mancini win for the story. Trey Mancini, obviously, this is his first season back after only missing one season with stage 3 colon cancer, and is made it to the home run derby deservedly and had a phenomenal performance. What do you think of that?
It's fucking ridiculous. You want a professional athlete to throw a competition because it would make it, a good warm story. It's like, yeah, okay, like if we joked about something like that on the pod, sure, but like genuinely getting upset over something like that, get the fuck out of here.
Now, if Pete Alonso had done it, I think we'd all recognize what a beautiful thing that was.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that doesn't mean he has to do it. Like,
Right. Like feeling upset that he didn't is like the line that we draw, right? Like
right.
if Pete did it and was just like, "Hey man, love you, all the support. There you go. You deserve this." We'd be like, "Holy shit, Pete Alonso, that's awesome. Gave up a bunch of money, gave up a bunch of, uh pride, ego, whatever you want to call it, just like silverware for his whatever the fuck it's called. The idiom I'm looking for, I don't know, but the fact that people are getting upset is just blowing my mind.
And man, I'm sure that all of us are charitable in our own ways, but they're athletes. This is what they do. You know, it's not a big deal. The important thing is that Trey Mancini did this. Like the important thing is that Trey Mancini is alive and able to play his sport and play at such a high level that he gets invited to this. The fact that he could have gotten knocked out in the first round still would have been a great story. Not every movie, not every event needs to end like the fucking ending to a goddamn Hallmark movie. Brad Pitt doesn't need to star in the movie about this home run derby. Shit can just happen, and you can just enjoy the parts of it you were wanted to enjoy or whatever. Um, Before I move on to the next thing, did you have any other thoughts on the home run derby?
Um, Still my favorite event. Wish I was awake for it. Really annoyed I fell asleep.
Nah,
Happened last year
I
too.
got you. I got you. Um, did you watch any of the All Star game itself?
I did not.
Yeah, I watched like 2 innings. It's so tough to care.
100%. It's pretty rough.
I have a much easier time watching 9 innings of a game I don't care about, but the players care about. Like if I'm going to watch, who's really irrelevant. Uh, the Pirates against the Diamondbacks. Like I'll watch that game because theoretically the players care about who wins that game. You know, they're out there making sure they get their hits and get their innings pitched and get their strikeouts and get their home runs, all that shit. So the fact that they care gives me a reason to care, but no one cares about this game. As well, they shouldn't. Like you shouldn't care about this game. And I watched 2 innings for like the novelty, and then I was like, I know. All right, cool. I don't give a shit. I saw Judge score a run. I
That's
guess
how it
that
goes for
counts
me.
enough for me. Like yeah, I'm not here for this.
Like if I sit down and watch it, I'll watch something great until it's like a three, not even three strikeout, but like three grind or two ground out and a fly out, and it's like, oh, this is really boring because pitchers are really good. Nobody's really hitting anything crazy. All right, let's go watch Netflix.
I will say it was very annoying. Um, ESPN, Fox had some of the players mic'd up, and from the 2 innings I saw, they did like nothing with it. So like Xander Bogaerts is up to bat.
Hmm.
There's one of the best hitting shortstops in baseball, and Joe Buck proceeds to sort of commentate what's happening while alternating between, I guess, addressing Xander Bogaerts. Like he'd be like, "What do you think he's going to throw?" Fastball. Um, and then there would be like awkward silence because I guess Joe Buck had no follow up question to that. And then he would like chit chat with Smoltz, and then Scherzer would throw, and then he'd be like, "Hey, 96," and Xander was like, 96, 96. And it's like, look, man, obviously you don't have to do this. Isn't 60 minutes. No one's expecting a hard hitting interview, but maybe you could like ask him a question other than, "Hey, what do you think he's going to throw? What's your approach here? You changing your swing on this one? What are you trying to achieve? Home run swing or you choking up there? Like insight, real time insight. You know what I mean? Like here's a cool opportunity on a national stage to get a real time answer to what goes through a player's head during an at bat that again no one gives a shit about, but is still competitive. And instead they were like 97, 97, 97. And that's not a conversation. So it sucked. It was not fun. Although Freddie Freeman's a gold mine. I hope that he gets into commentating when he's done with playing.
I like his kid.
Charlie,
His kid's pretty funny. Yeah, pretty cute.
that's a cute kid.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, let's get
Yeah,
into it.
let's get into it. All right. So, shall we start with updates to our awards, or do you want to just do bold predictions? I forget what we usually do.
Let's start with awards.
All right. I feel like I had you start. Whatever. I'll just start. I can't. I was trying to remember. I don't remember.
Okay.
Um. So I have AL Manager of the Year first. So I guess we're starting there. I had put Dusty Baker.
Why would you start with the manager of the year?
For some, all right. So I don't know, but for some reason, that's what I have down here. So that's
Okay,
why that's
go
where we're
ahead.
starting.
Have fun.
As it stands right now, the Houston Astros are tied for the best record in the American League. Um, Chances are, if I had to give this award today, it would probably go to Alex Cora for the massive turnaround that Boston had in his absence versus today. But Dusty Baker, I do think, is still a good option for this one, given that his team is performing very well. They're performing very well while constantly missing a good amount of starters that would make a significant impact, whereas that is not the case in Boston. So probably not my vote today, but still a decent option. What do you got for Manager of the Year?
I went with Aaron Boone, who is currently closer to being fired than winning this award. So let's move on.
Yeah, it's not been looking good for Booney. He probably will get fired, or at least not have his contract renewed. I think it's up this season. For the National League, I put Dave Roberts because the Dodgers win a lot of games, and the Dodgers are winning a lot of games, not winning more games than the Giants, which is, again, fucking wild. And to that effect, if I had to vote today, I guess I'd probably vote for Gabe Kapler, which is
It
hilarious
has
if
to
you're a
be
Phillies
Gabe
fan.
Kapler. Yeah.
So could Dave Roberts win this? Sure, in a world of endless possibilities, but that possibility is shrinking by the day.
I went with Jace Tingler of the Padres, and they're having a good season, not great season, but regardless of how good they're doing, it's Gabe Kapler's award.
Did you say that the Padres are having a good, not great season?
Compared to expectations, and so much of this award is based off of expectations, so
All right, fair enough.
that's what I meant.
All right, well then, next up I have AL MVP.
I'm fully aware of the history of the Padres and how this is a historic year for them.
Okay, as long as you know. Um, yeah. So for AL MVP, I had Aaron Judge, who I think to this point there's a decent argument for him to be the Yankees MVP, but he's by no means the American League MVP. At this point, there is no option that is not Shohei Ohtani. So there you go, Corwin. Who'd you get?
I got Shohei Ohtani.
So yeah, you're nuts on there.
Yeah, so this is pretty locked in, and unless he gets hurt, unless he completely implodes as a person, this is pretty fantastic. Pretty good guess so far. Way to start off on top.
Yeah, I'd say so. For National League MVP, I had predicted Mookie Betts, who has not been having a bad season, but has not been having a prototypical Mookie season. No, that's still not even fair to him because it's still a 131 OPS plus, which is technically down from last season. But I mean, goddamn it, he's so good. But yeah, I guess this is probably Fernando Tatis's award to lose at this point. I don't know. What do you think? Who'd you have?
I'd agree with you with it's Fernando Tatis's to lose. And I had Juan Soto as my guy. Again, having a really good year, 143 OPS plus, 2.5 WAR, it looks like, I believe. Yeah, 2.5 WAR. Good season so far. It's just not exactly front runner for MVP right now, which is we're okay with it. I'm fine with it. I won't complain.
Yeah, if we had gone by WAR for this, then in the National League it would be Tatis. He has 4.3 WAR. And for the American League, it would be Ohtani with 5.6 WAR. You could argue DeGrom, Gaussman, Wheeler, or Miley, who all have more WAR than Tatis, but they are all pitchers. And historically, pitchers don't win this award because they have their own award. unless the voters decide that doesn't matter, which is so fucking at random. So there's also a decent universe in which, or a decent possibility we enter the universe in which Jacob deGrom wins this award, which would not be unreasonable. But it's very tough to say with the pitcher versus position player conversation. So anyway, for Cy Young, sorry, Corin, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I don't need to talk. It's okay. No, I was just going to say that it's Jacob deGrom if you're going to give it to a pitcher, and he's the only person who I think is, in that front runner tier as long as he stays healthy and finishes out the year. Already missed a fair chunk of time, so.
And yet he's still having an insane season. So looking at Cy Young for the American League, I had predicted Garrett Cole, who has been very good this season. I think he could certainly still be in the conversation. It's kind of weird until the sticky stuff saga fizzles out a little bit more to get a better picture of what on earth is happening. But yeah, I don't know. I have nothing. I have no real opinion on Cy Young yet for the American League.
Yeah, I also had Garrett Cole. And looking at the Vegas odds right now, he is still the favorite.
He does still have the most pitching WAR of any American League pitcher.
The next highest pitcher is Carlos Rodon. And then Lance Lynn.
Yeah, Lance Lynn is third for American League pitchers with 3.4. Sandwiched in between them, I think if I gave you 100 guesses, you'd never guess it. But do you want to take a shot?
In pitching WAR?
Yeah, between Garrett Cole and Lance Lynn for American League pitcher WAR.
Kyle Gibson.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure you saw it though. There's no way you pulled Kyle Gibson out your ass.
Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. I pulled Kyle Gibson out because I know he's having such an outrageously good season and has no right to be.
Robbie Ray is fourth? Wow, this is a weird year.
It would have taken me 100 guesses to get.
What a weird year, man. Okay.
Pitching WAR is so fucking weird to begin with.
Yeah. For National League, Cy Young, because we might as well just keep it moving. I had dark horse candidate Mike Soroka, who he's not winning this award. He hasn't pitched this season. So yeah. No shot.
I don't think so. Yeah. I had Yu Darvish, who is in the top 6 in Vegas odds to win this award, but it's Jacob deGrom or nothing at this point. Maybe Kevin Gausman. I think Kevin Gausman has a dark horse.
Gausman currently has the most strictly pitching WAR with 4.9. Total WAR, deGrom passes him with a clean 5.0. But which is just, again, wild what a season Gausman's having. But, the traditional stats have their place in voters' hearts anyway. And with deGrom leading an ERA, even though Gausman has a higher pitcher WAR, and these are just numbers, they don't necessarily mean the end all be all of anything. Plus with the name, I think deGrom would still probably have this. So hey, whole second half, we'll see how it shakes out. But I think we can both confidently say Mike Soroka ain't it.
I agree with that.
Oh God, which brings me to my American League Rookie of the Year. I had Luis Robert, and he ain't getting this.
No. Let's see. Who did I have? I had Jared Kelenic. He's not getting this.
Oh wait, no. Hold on, Luis. All right, hold on. Actually, I said Robert, but I can't remember if it's Robert or Robert because I feel like I
thought
switched.
It was Robert.
I think it is too. Usually, there's a pronunciation thing. in Baseball Reference, but I don't see it.
Let's look at odds for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'll say Robert because that's what I usually say. He has been playing. Who am I thinking of that hasn't been? Eloy
What?
Jimenez, right? That's who hasn't played for the White Sox.
He's the one who tore his pec, yeah.
At the same time,
They're wild
wait,
odds.
hold on. Why did I pick Luis Robert? He finished second in Rookie of the Year voting last year. Oh my God,
You
I've been
really
reading
do that?
20. Hold on, I've been reading 2020s. I'm in the wrong fucking tab. Okay. Okay, hold on. I keep tabs of all these so I can look back at past years, and I fucked up. So let me move on real quick. AL Manager of the Year, I also had Aaron Boone. So we're both in the same ballpark for that shit. National League Manager of the Year, I also had Jace Tingler. So we're in the same boat for that shit. AL MVP, I still put Aaron Judge, so that actually didn't change. Which is why, dude, so 5 out of 6 of these are the same. NL MVP, I put Francisco Lindor, which that's not happening. AL Cy Young, I also put Garrett Cole. So same conversation there. That's why this didn't seem weird to me. Now it just makes sense. So Jacob DeGrom, I picked for National League Cy Young. That's looking good. AL Rookie of the Year, I put Wander Franco. Who has a chance?
Who has a chance. Looking at the odds for AL Rookie of the Year, do you want to throw out a top 5? Can you name 5 rookies right now?
All right, so Jerry
It's a weird
Kelenick's
list.
there, but he's not going to win it. He had a horrible time when he was up.
He is second in
Shed
odds
Long,
right now. Nope.
that other guy in the Mariners, JP Crawford. No, he's not a rookie. Cedric Mullins isn't a rookie. I don't know who.
At 5 is Wander Franco
Okay.
at plus 1,000. Akil Badu is 4
Oh, right.
plus
Oh, Jazz
1,000.
Chisholm's got to be there.
Incorrect.
What?
Yerman Mercedes is at plus 800.
It's currently in the minors.
Jared Kelenic, currently in the minors, is at plus 650. And Randy Arozarena at 350.
Oh, he is
Plus
technically a
350.
rookie.
Right? But the playoffs threw us all off.
Yeah. It's the same thing that happened with Matt What's-His-Face, the goalie for Pittsburgh. Matt Murray.
Oh, yeah, Matt Murray.
Same thing.
That would have been really cool if he won it twice. What was I looking up?
Oh, shit. Wander Franco. Granted, 15 games. Doesn't mean shit. 67 OPS plus.
But what about that 1 game sample size?
Well, that was a really good game.
I guess, I mean, he has an OPS plus of 108, which is good. Nothing exciting. Jazz Chisholm.
Oh.
764 OPS.
And plus, he's doing at the shortstop position. Means something.
Yeah.
All right, let's take this over to the National League Rookie of the Year, where I had Corwin Hayes, who probably wouldn't take this one. He hasn't played. He's only played about half of Pittsburgh's games. In those half of their games, he's played very well. A 116 OPS plus, and he's played a pretty mean defense. But I'm not sure it's enough. I mean, obviously, there's still plenty of season left, so this could still end up being a good pick, and I think it is still a good pick. But I'm not sure. Who'd you have?
I also had Corwin Hayes.
Oh, well, all right.
There you go.
Probably Trevor Rogers at this point.
Trevor Rogers not in the top 10 in Vegas odds, which I don't understand how. Corwin Hayes at plus 350. Sixto Sanchez at plus 500. Who will not? Oh, this is April. That's why. April 15th. Why are these not updated?
Yeah, so I have a list here from June of this year, so just a month ago. That it's a ranking. It's not Vegas odds, but Trevor Rogers is listed first, Ian Anderson is second, Dylan Carlson third, Jazz Chisholm fourth, and Pavin Smith fifth. For the American League, oh shit, Adolis Garcia is a rookie.
Whoa.
Wait, really?
Now that's something right there.
Get out of town. So Adolis
I feel like I
Garcia,
need this.
this is his third season in the bigs, but last year he only played 3 games. So obviously that didn't touch his rookie eligibility. And the year before that, he didn't play at all. So I guess he just didn't get called up. And the only playing time he had was in 2018 when he played 21 games for the Cardinals. So I don't think his rookie eligibility got fucked with those 3 seasons. So I guess he's technically a rookie. That's okay. Okay. So Adolis, actually, I was thinking how you pronounce it. Adolis Garcia, Randy Rosarena, Yarmin Mercedes, Nick Madrigal, who is not going to take that, and
No, he will not.
Casey Mize. Okay.
I could see him having a strong second half.
Yeah, Casey Mize has had a good first half too.
Yeah. Neat. All right, moving on. Comeback player of the year?
Yes. For the American League, I had Trey Mancini, a pick which is looking phenomenal.
I had a group of 3 here that I still have all written down of Shohei Ohtani, Jameson Taillon, and Trey Mancini. And I went with Shohei Ohtani. And I think we're both in very good positions here. I think Shohei definitely has the on-field results. And I think winning MVP, Silver Slugger, everything that, he's going to end up winning at the end of the year is going to be huge for the comeback player. I just think Trey Mancini has the storyline of, okay, Tommy John is big, sure, but stage 3 cancer is pretty bigger. Words are really great today. Fucking gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ugly to compare travesties, but you're probably right. So we'll leave it at that. For nationally comeback player of the year, I had Jordan Hicks, and has he played this year?
He's been the setup man for Alex Reyes all season.
Okay. Oh, he has not had a stellar season at all. 5.4 ERA, only 10 innings. That's not good.
He was hurt for a good while.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a rough season. Well, who'd you have?
I had Steven Strasburg. He's having a
Has
good
he
season.
played this season?
I don't even know. I feel like I just said he's been having a pretty good season, and I feel like I based that off of one conversation about Max Scherzer where he was talked about in reference.
So
Negative 0.1 WAR, 4.57
in
ERA, has
5
appeared in
games.
Yeah.
That's
Only 21 innings pitched, so pretty rough. Good job, Corwin, making yourself look.
And
like
he's
an
hurt. He's on the
asshole.
IL, so yeah. Yuck. That's a shame.
Yep. June 1st. Came back. Well, played in 3 games, got hurt again, back to the IL.
Shame. All right, shall we get into our actual bold predictions?
Yeah, let's burn through them, baby.
All right, do you want me to keep going first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Number 1, Shohei Ohtani is a finalist for the Cy Young Award, wins AL MVP and Silver Slugger. I don't really feel all that confident in him finishing top 5 in Cy Young for the AL. I mean, right now it's Cole, Rodon, Lynn, Bieber, and Eovaldi with the top odds. Shohei is not in that conversation. That being said, I think he has the best chance of winning MVP and probably the best chance of winning 2 Silver Slugger awards this year, which I can't say that's ever been done before.
No, he can't because I'm pretty sure the American League doesn't give a Silver Slugger for pitching.
Really?
I'm pretty sure since American League pitchers don't hit.
Don't hit silver sluggers, motherfucker. You make a very good point.
It would see if they
Ooh,
do, it would be very silly.
from 1980 to 2019, only National League pitchers received a Silver Slugger award. Lineups in the American League include designated hitter. So in 2020, MLB implemented a universal designated. Oh, damn, that's not where I thought that paragraph was going. Shit.
Yeah, well, go fuck yourself.
I did. I did.
All right. Yeah, yours is looking very, very good outside of the Cy Young thing, but the fact that the rest of that's looking so damn good is really just amazing. My first one is Kluber and Tyone each pitch over 120 innings. As it stands today, Corey Kluber has thrown 53.1 innings and is still on the IL. Jameson Tyone has thrown 82.2. So if we were to just double what they've done, because we're theoretically right around the halfway point, Tyone is set to clear that rather easily. A handful of starts, truly. Kluber is a little bit tougher of a story to tell. He had only played in 10 games in the first half as compared to 17 from Tyone. So if he were to finish out the season as a regular part of the rotation, could he pitch 70 more innings? That's not a lot of innings. It's theoretically quite possible. However, who the fuck knows? He's currently hurt. We don't have a very clear picture of when he's coming back, if he'll get hurt again, all that type of shit. So while this one isn't dead in the water, it is certainly not paddling. So we'll see. What do you got for your next one?
Um, my next one is the Padres and Dodgers both win 100 games by the end of the season. The Dodgers, with their 615 winning percentage, are on their way to 99.63 wins. I'll take that as a rounding up to 100. The Padres are on pace for 92 wins. So not quite. But they have 53 wins so far. They have 69 games, I should say, left. Um, so they have the chance to close out strong and get there, but that's not terribly hard to do. They could do it.
They could. They certainly could. Um, I definitely wouldn't say that's out of the realm
No.
of possibilities either. My second bold prediction is that no batter hits over 45 home runs. As it stands right now, Shohei Ohtani is only 12 away from doing that. So unless he gets hurt or has an abysmal second half, this probably is not going to come true, which would be for the best. I mean, it'd be more fun to see players hit 50, 60 home runs all the time because that's just super fun. But not looking great, barring something terrible. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Um, please, something terrible don't happen to Shohei Ohtani, please. But my number three, each of the top five starting pitchers on the Padres finish with a sub 4 ERA. So to start the season, that meant Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Dinelson Lamet, Joe Musgrove, and Chris Paddock. Right now, Darvish has a 3.09 ERA. Joe Musgrove has a 2.93. Dinelson Lamet has a 3.67. Blake Snell has a 4.99, not doing great there. And Chris Paddock, I should say, has a 5.38. But my goodness, Ryan Weathers came out of nowhere to steal Paddock's spot as the number 5 guy, and he's rocking a 2.91 ERA. Unfortunately, he's out for the rest of the season, and we're stuck with Chris Paddock in the majors.
Which is wild because at his debut, he had quite a rookie of the year campaign.
He was so good.
And boy, howdy, has nothing happened with that since.
Turns out when you throw one good pitch, the rest turn.
And that pitch is a
pretty easy.
fastball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's
Negative
his changeup. His changeup's his best ball. Yeah.
negative 1.4 WAR on the season.
Yeah.
Does he get to negative 2 WAR?
I don't think he stays there. I think he gets there. What's the pitch p-val? Let's look up p-val. Not PT-val, not pro-val, but p-val. This is not what I was looking for. This is not Fangraphs. Google, save me. Save me, Google.
So the worst season of all time by WAR belongs to a man named Jim Levy. Have you ever heard of Jim Levy?
I don't.
So Jim Levy played, oh my God. He played for 4 seasons. Oh my God. He finished 19th in MVP voting in 1932. He played from 30 to 33. In 1932, he had a 75 OPS plus. That's hilarious. And still got an MVP vote. It's so fucking funny. His career OPS plus was 48. His career WAR is negative 7.2. He had a positive WAR never in his career. And in 1933, he posted a WAR of negative 4. His 1933 stats, you may ask, 141 games, essentially a full season. 567 plate appearances. He scored 43 runs. He got 103 hits, 10 doubles, 4 triples, 2 home runs, 36 RBI, 4 stolen bases on 6 caught stealings, 26 walks to 68 strikeouts, and his slash line was 195, 230, 237, 240. That's a 477 OPS, a 24 OPS plus. He had negative 3.20 WAR and a DWAR of positive 0.1, and must have just sucked it up everywhere else too. Oh my God, negative 4.
That's a really bad.
Yeah, the 1933 St. Louis Browns, which was the team Jim Levy played on, finished 8th in the American League, which at the time I believe only had 8 teams in it, which means that they finished dead last. Yes, they did. Oh my God, the team above them, the Boston Red Sox, that season had 8 more wins than them. Everyone else kind of being in that ballpark. St. Louis, the basement that season. Woof. Woof. They finished the season 43 and a half games back of the division.
Wow.
Oh.
So while you were looking that up, I found Chris Paddock's pitch values year by year. This is his 3rd season. 2019, when he had that Rookie of the Year campaign, his p-value for fastballs was 13.7.
Insane.
His curveball was negative 0.8, and his changeup was 7.9. So 2 really great pitches. 2020, his changeup stayed 7.1. Curveball got even worse, negative 1.3. He added a cutter with a negative 2.3 p-val. And his fastball went from a 13.7 to a negative 9.9.
Oh, God.
We should do an episode just on the biggest changes on p-vals year to year for a single pitch. Because 20 essentially, 22, 23, whatever it ends up being, is fucking insane. 2021, it's back up to a negative 3.1, with his cutter getting a little better at negative 1.3. Curveball improved dramatically to a positive zero point 0.8, and his changeup, which was a 7.9, 7.1, is now a negative 3.8.
Oh, that's just fucking nuts.
Fucking outrageous.
All right, let's move on. All right. My third bold prediction. I think it's my turn. Huh? What?
No, go ahead.
Is it my turn?
It is 100% your turn. I was
Okay.
just making a comment about how tired we both are.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
All
showing.
right. Yes, it is. If you don't like the sound of me yawning, go fuck yourself. So now my third one, it still could happen, but I'm going to need approval from Corwin to make an update to it. And that is that Jack Leiter makes his MLB debut for the Pirates this fall after being drafted first overall. Now, the Pirates, as we just discussed, for some bullshit, dumbass reason, likely money, chose not to draft Jack Leiter, instead taking a catcher. And Jack Leiter ended up going second overall to the Texas Rangers. Now, the crux of this bold prediction was that Jack Leiter makes the MLB roster of the team that drafted him by the end of the season. So if Corwin allows, I would update this to, say, the Texas Rangers and just leave the Jack Leiter debut part as being the main part.
I would allow half a point to be awarded if he makes his debut for the Rangers.
All right. Good enough for me. Which could happen. I mean, it's up to the Rangers if they feel like Jack Leiter has no reason to be in the minors. That's really it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, we'll move it on to you.
Number 4, Juan Soto finished this season with an on-base percentage above 500 for the first time since Barry Bonds in 2004. Juan Soto last year had a 490 on-base percentage, led all of baseball. This year, 407, does not lead all of baseball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does with a 430. Soto is third, also behind Max Muncy. Not looking great, but that was a bold prediction.
I feel much the same about my next one, which is that Tim Anderson has a 30-30 season. I love my boy Tim. He's having a good power season in terms of doubles. He has 18 on the year so far, which means if that second half was to prove as fruitful as the first half, it would be the most doubles he's hit in his entire career, having put him on pace for about 34, 35, because he's played a little bit over half of his games so far. However, the home runs have not materialized as they had in years past. So far, he only has 6. Now, for stolen bases, he is there. He has 14 so far, which, we can double and, round a little bit to call it 30. Not out of the realm of possibility if you've already got 14 by the All-Star break. But without the home, he'd have to hit 24 home runs in the second half, which I love Tim Anderson, but I don't think he'd be able to do. It's just not the type of ball player he is to go on a huge power streak like that. So this is very unlikely to not going to happen.
Fair enough. My next one, Ke'Bryan Hayes is an all-star third baseman for the National League. Having a good season. He was not an all-star. That was Nolan Arenado starting the game with Manny Machado, Justin Turner, and Eduardo Escobar named as replacements.
This is one of the first ones we can say reached its finality before the end of the season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Granted, Ke'Bryan Hayes had under half as many at-bats as Eduardo Escobar or any one of these guys. Only 0.4 WAR behind, though, despite that. That being said, didn't count, and it's over.
True.
Would be on pace to be an all-star, though, if he played a full season at this rate.
Yeah, he's definitely still going to have a wonderful year. The fact that he didn't make an all-star game should not be held against him.
Mhm.
My next prediction was that Max Scherzer gets traded before the trade deadline or by the trade deadline to the New York Yankees. It's tough to know what direction the Yankees are going in, and it's tough to get a sense of what direction the Nationals want to go in. I had felt pre-season that the Nationals were going to not felt. I thought they were going to be kind of bad, and it might be an incentive for them to have learned from the Bryce Harper situation, which he walked after his contract, which they kind of knew and just let happen. And maybe do something different with Scherzer, who's having a phenomenal year and certainly has increased his trade value since the start of the season, um, because he's just being dominant as hell. And the Nats are not out of it. They're 6 games back in their division, which isn't insurmountable, especially with a whole second half of baseball to be played. It just depends on how they view their team. And that's the part it's tough to get a real grasp on. Now, from the Yankees end of it, obviously they could use another starter because guess what? Fuckface. Everybody and their mother could use another starter. Is your team going to the playoffs? Yes, they need another starter. Uh, I mean, that's how the game works. So the real question is, will the Yankees be willing to shell out for it? And it's tough to tell that too, because it's been a middling season for them. The Yankees themselves are 8 games back from their division. Um, but organizational differences make you wonder if the Yankees, who haven't had a losing season since before I was born, might want to desperately avoid that possibility, keep the playoff window alive, that type of shit, by going balls deep on trades and acquisitions, getting Gallo, getting Scherzer, whomever, um, and try to storm the fortress of the division lead. I doubt it. At this point. It doesn't seem very likely. And if it were to be something, it would probably be batting. Um, maybe some relievers, depending on
Mhm.
the salary situations of the moves. Um, but the rotation has not been the problem this season, at least not as much as it has been in years past. Hitting has been, and it'd be tough at this point to see the Yanks empty the tank for Scherzer. I would love it, but doubtful.
Yeah, I don't really see it in the cards either, especially with the season that they were having.
I mean, this one we'll know in a month when the trade deadline's over. So
Right, right. I need to start doing trade deadline predictions. I don't think I've ever done it. No, I did one last year with the Pirates and their vending machine. Never mind. Number 6, as a rookie, Vlad Guerrero hit 15 home runs in 464 at bats. Last year in the shortened season, he hit 9 home runs in 221 at bats. This year, in 300 and well, don't want to jump the gun here. My prediction is that he would supersede the 20 home run prediction that he had for this season and smash 40 and double it. Actually, break 40. And this year, in 316 at bats, he has 28 home runs. Um, so I'm feeling pretty darn good about the best player in baseball right now breaking the 40 home run plateau by the end of the season. So I don't think it's the boldest in the world because people knew he was going to have that. 40 home runs is still a lot of home runs, but it doesn't seem crazy now that he's doing it and doing it as the best player in baseball right now. Well, best hitter in baseball. Shohei's the best player.
probably the best hitter, but that's okay.
Fair enough.
My next one, I'd have to defend a lot and then see if it happens. But it's that the Orioles are buyers at the deadline. Now, I will say this: the Orioles should not be sellers at the deadline. Yes, they're bad, but their team is not old. And the players that they have that are good, they should absolutely keep and eventually start actually building around. Like Trey Mancini obviously is kind of the old man of the group, I guess, at this point, seeing as he's 29. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, right. But Cedric Mullins is 26. Like, you're not selling Cedric Mullins. Austin Hayes is 25. You're not selling Austin Hayes. Ryan Mountcastle is 24. You're not selling Ryan Mountcastle. So really, if we think about the number of young assets, young controllable assets that the Orioles have, and what next steps would be for them to start becoming a better team, it's probably, well, that'd be hilarious. But it's probably no longer through trial and error of players to the extent that it has been thus far. At some point, it's going to have to be through acquisition. Now, would the Orioles do a big splashy trade for Max Scherzer or Trevor Story? Actually, Trevor Story would be hilarious and would make a ton of sense for that team. Um, Probably not. But I also don't think it's outrageous to think that the Orioles might make a sneaky small time acquisition that improves their team in the immediate rather than for the long term, which has been more of their more recent moves. So I actually don't think this is dead in the water, even though the Orioles haven't had a good season. It's just not going to be in the same circumstances I probably intended it when I wrote this. So, yeah.
I honestly kind of want to see the Orioles just start buying up players on expiring contracts just to fuck around and find out.
I mean, if you think about it from the Orioles' perspective, if you're giving up players with years of control, and we're not talking about like a season or 2 seasons, like years of control, you shouldn't really have to pay salary for whoever you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trade-off. So it really wouldn't be wild to assume that they could end up being buyers when they have what every team wants, which is cheap assets that are young and controllable. So granted, the quality of them is mixed, but still, I mean, it's not outrageous.
My number 7, Fernando Tatis Jr. and
Who?
Ronald Acuna are the 5th and 6th members of the 40-40 club. You lost your mind when I made this prediction, saying it was utterly outrageous that I would even suggest either one of these guys would get there. Um, well, Acuna almost made it last year. Or did he make it last year? I don't remember now. I forget. Regardless, Fernando Tatis, despite missing some time,
I think you mean 2 years ago because last year was a 60
right?
game
Yeah, 2
season.
years ago.
He came very close. He had 41 home runs to 37 stolen bases.
Got it. But so far this year, Fernando Tatis is leading the National League in both home runs and stolen bases with 28 and 20 respectively, on pace for getting there and joining the 40-40 club. Ronald Acuna hit 24 home runs and 17 stolen bases, so he was within striking distance, but alas, his season prematurely ended. Shame.
It's a damn shame. But at least he'll have Tatis. He certainly seems like he's on pace to do it. So we'll see.
Fernando.
So my next one is that the Toronto Blue Jays as a team bat to an over 120 OPS plus, but pitches as a team to a sub 85 ERA plus. Now, as it stands right now, the Toronto Blue Jays has a non-pitching total, have a 111 OPS plus, only 9 points shy of where I need them to be. They are being held back by scum such as Danny Jansen and his 53 OPS plus. Kevin Biggio's 92, right? Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is 92. Rowdy Tellez, who they just traded, 66. Joe Panic, 76. Bums, scum, horrible people, all of them. But George Springer is back now. Granted, he only has a 97 OPS plus for now, but he's only played in he played in 72 games? Wow, he has had a very quiet season. Oh, because it's not good. Okay, that makes sense. 194 batting average. 310 OBP is wonderful, but the hit and slugging's 4. And, all right, so this is a mediocre season. The batting average is ugly, which doesn't matter. But anyway, they could do it. It'd be tough, but they could still do it. Looking at the team ERA plus, it's actually good. Their team's ERA plus is better than their OPS plus. The team ERA plus is 112, which means that the Toronto Blue Jays are pitching better than they're hitting, which doesn't make any fucking sense because that's not how this team is built. And yet, Robbie Ray, 3.13 ERA. Hyun-Jin Ryu, 3.56 ERA. Alex Manoah, 2.90 ERA. And then Ross Stripling's 4.34, which is still a 1.02 ERA plus. Steven Matz is the only member of the rotation with a sub 100 ERA plus. His 94 with a 4.72 ERA. And then their bullpen has been decent. Jordan Romano has an ERA plus of 2.36. Tim Meisels has been 280. I lost it. 101. And then some slop. But still, I mean, they by and large have been doing a very good job, which is wild.
I'm pretty surprised, but I feel like there's so many wild teams like that where shit is just like, I know it's not a great example because they're both sides of the ball or both sides of the ball are doing really well, but I thought the Giants were gonna have one of the worst pitching staffs in all of baseball this
Blue
year, and
Jays.
now I'm just saying, like, there's so many teams that are like
Oh,
this.
okay.
I thought the Giants pitching was gonna be fucking awful, and it turns out they're one of the best in baseball. It's just all over the place. It just this year's crazy. I feel like it's always crazy, but even still, this year's wild.
Yeah. So obviously my prediction is not in good shape, but I don't really mind.
Neither is my next one. Each of the top 5 NL Cy Young vote getters are from the NL West. If you look at the current top 5 of Jacob deGrom, Brandon Woodruff, Kevin Gossman, Zach Wheeler, and Corbin Burns, you get one of them, and none of the ones I was expecting. If you expand to the top 10, you get Yu Darvish, Walker Buehler, and Trevor Bauer in there. But that is not close to my prediction.
Right. Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is that no NL Central team gets to 90 wins. As it stands right now, the winningest NL Central team is the Milwaukee Brewers, 53-39. It's a 576 win percent, which puts them on pace for 93 wins. So this is close. This is going to come down to how that pitching staff holds up in the second half, since that is absolutely what is carrying them. But even with their entire pitching staff pitching out of their fucking minds, it's still going to be close. So we'll see. What do you think the ERA plus of the Brewers' entire pitching staff is?
130.
121. So the Brewers are what I was expecting the Blue Jays to be, but backwards. So the Brewers, as a pitching staff, 121 ERA plus, 87 OPS plus as a team. Taking out the pitchers, it's a 94 OPS plus. Damn.
That's really bad.
Yeah. All right, give me your next one.
All right, my next one. Lance McCullers outperforms Justin Verlander and Zach Greinke as the Astros' top pitcher. He's sure as hell outperforming Justin Verlander this year. And he's also outperforming Zach Greinke. McCullers has a 2.94 ERA to Greinke's 3.59. Has only pitched in 79 innings compared to 115, but has given up way less home runs. All right, I guess those come with the territory. But he has 89 strikeouts in those 79 innings to 85 in Greinke's 115, a 148 or ERA plus to 121, lower WHIP or lower FIP, just a little bit higher of a WHIP, lower hits per nine, lower home runs per nine, a little bit higher walks per nine. but all around playing as the best pitcher on the Houston Astros.
All right. My next one is that Trevor Bauer loses his rotation spot to Dustin May or Tony Gonsolin. Pick your poison. And this one came true.
Nice.
Moving
Let it
on.
be. My last one. All teams play a full 162 game schedule, and there are no COVID outbreaks among teams. We're there so far.
Looking good to stay that way too. I had two more. My second to last one is that Mike Trout does not finish top 5 in MVP voting, which sadly is looking true. Which would have been sad no matter what, but it's also sad because he's hurt. He's still on the 60-day IL. So because he's missed so much time, and I'm not really sure when he's supposed to be back, but I don't think it's soon. This probably will end up coming true, which in the worst way, which it coming true in any way. The one way it would have been good is if he had a 8-war season and 5 dudes ahead of him had 10-war seasons. That would have been a cool way for it to have happened, but sucks. My other one is that Tony La Russa gets fired before the season ends. That does not seem like it's going to happen because the White Sox are having a good season. And although Tony La Russa has certainly put himself in some controversy earlier in the year, and it's been pretty quiet as of late, and just doubtful anything happens. So probably not going to happen. Oh well, them's the breaks. All right, I'm beat. I know Corwin's beat. I'm going to rush us out of here. Corwin, you got anything else to say?
Bye.
Well, all right, hold on. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod, like his via email. You can do so at juicingnumbers@gmail.com. If you like to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at Joshua D. Trace. You like to follow Corwin on Twitter, you can do so at Corwin Heller. And until Monday, y'all have a good one.
I already said it.